If you're like me, then you're constantly looking for new ways to reduce your carbon footprint. I picked up the eco-friendly Earth Bag Premium from the Hamilton Perkins collection, and I'm so happy about it. Each bag is made from about 16 recycled water bottles. This one-of-a-kind premium bag is the answer for all of my on-the-go needs. Take a step and address plastic waste with these unique, sustainable Earth bags. Head over to hamiltonperkins.com and use the promo code PASSINGTHEBAR for a 15% discount for being our listener. Welcome back to Passing the Bar podcast, where we're a group of bartenders talking about the ups and the downs of the industry and all the social issues that we deal with. I'm your host, Chris Pryor, and I've also got Evan with me.
Hey, y'all.
And Steve.
Hi.
And today, for our special guests, we have Trey French.
I'm not that special, Chris. I'm just a guy.
And we've got Pat also.
Hello.
So, Trey, you're from Virginia Beach?
I was born at Virginia Beach General Hospital, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know Trey from here in Virginia Beach. He used to be a bar owner of a really nice establishment down here named Venue 112. Expert bartender, great at dealing with guests and customers, great at throwing parties. Really just kind of all up in the nightlife. And I know recently you decided to take an opportunity out in Los Angeles.
Correct.
So what are you doing out in L.A.?
So I was a consultant for a restaurant group when I first got there. Actually, when I first got there, I worked at Saddle Ranch on Sunset to kind of learn the ins and outs of the business in California, which is miles different than what we deal with regularly in Virginia. And then after that, I was a consultant, like a restaurant consultant, and my first job was downtown, where I was going to help revive a restaurant that wasn't doing so hot. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's where I've been for a while.
So you're in LA. I mean, Sunset Boulevard, right?
Well, I live, in Hollywood.
Wow.
So it's Hollywood Boulevard is 4 blocks away. Sunset's about 2 blocks away.
When you say differences, so what are some of the key differences that you see on the West Coast and what we have here on the East Coast?
Well, they say that New York City is 10 years ahead of Los Angeles in the restaurant bar business. Okay. Now they say that Los Angeles is 10 years ahead of the entire rest of the country.
Oh wow.
Okay.
But I mean, that's what people say.
Right.
So it's a different level of bartending.
Yeah.
It's a different level of service. I feel like when you're the best at what you do, you go to places like New York and Los Angeles to kind of see where you're at.
Okay.
In the business.
Right. Like how you measure up.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's things that I would never have done at Venue or Central as, management, GM, operating partner, whatever you want to call it. Those are the things that I do daily in Los Angeles.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
So, I never once ran a labor report at Venue.
Right.
Not one. Because you pay servers $2.13 an hour.
Right.
Tips negated, $0 paycheck.
Right.
In Los Angeles, every server and bartender makes $12 an hour.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You
Right.
serious?
Yeah. $12 an hour.
Right. Crazy.
So, I mean...
We migrating.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, a labor percentage is one of your biggest concerns there, as opposed to Virginia, where I literally never ran one, because you pay the kitchen, and that's basically it.
Right. You don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So then when you have to deal with, 4 servers and 2 bartenders all making $12 an hour, plus a shift lead making $15, $16, and that's a small place.
Yeah. Right.
You have to know where you're at labor-wise, what percentage of your pie is going to labor. Mm-hmm. Where here it's all liquor costs, and maybe if you're a great restaurant, Virginia Beach, you do food costs as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But there it's it's a huge chunk.
Right.
Yeah.
Where here it's nothing. And the level of mixology is just way different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would never badmouth Virginia because I'm from here. It's my home. I love everybody. My family lives here. I love the industry. I love everyone in it. But it's you can think you're the best person at slinging vodka cranberries and quickly learn, like I did.
Right.
I didn't. You don't use shakers.
Yeah.
You stir everything.
Oh, yeah.
Where does that come from? People are come in with a bag, and I'm like, what the fuck's in the bag? And they're like, my bar tools. And I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah, that utility belt for a Friday.
I'm like, you bought that whole bag for a bottle opener? And they're like, bottle opener? We don't have bottled beer. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they get out their spoons and their strainers and their torches and all that kind of stuff. So it's like a different, depending on where you are, it's a different level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But a lot of places can be like it is in Virginia Beach, where it's like your shot of Fireball, Coors Light.
Right.
You go into one place and order that, and everybody's like, okay. You go in the next place and order that, and people are like, look at you like you're an idiot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We talked about this yesterday.
But if you went into the Coors Light Fireball bar and ordered like a lavender gin cocktail, they look like you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
It's all about where you go. You know what I mean?
True.
So he was talking about some of these mixologists or these
Coctologists.
Wow.
So the coctologist goes into a sports bar and asks for this Manhattan and goes like, Psh, they make the worst Manhattan. It's like you fucking are in a sports bar,
right? You got to know where you're at.
Get your beer and your shot, man.
Right.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah, but I mean, they're like so. My place or the restaurant I was at downtown, the guy who owns the place next door, directly next door, was Michael Tips, who was the mixology expert for the first couple of seasons on Bar Rescue.
Oh, okay.
And I became friends.
We talked about this.
We did. It's good.
So I became friends with him, and he was the bar manager at Milk and Honey in New York City. Great guy, helped me out a lot. And then across the street, and that's next door. Across the street at the Sheridan, the hotel bar is called District, and it's the #1 hotel bar in the country.
I've heard about that place.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like they have cocktails that cure for 3 months.
Oh
You know
wow.
what I mean? So
No
that's
joke.
like the level
next
of
level or top tier, really.
right.
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
the level of competition there.
Right.
I'm just
You know
thinking
what
of the
I mean? And you're
storage on that bitch.
It's
Oh, my
insane.
God.
I'm just thinking of the price on it.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
What is the price for a drink like that?
It was, I think. All right, so they shave their own diamond ice. Their bar backs shave their cubed ice into diamonds, and if you order a drink over, I think it's 22, like a certain level of cocktail, you get the diamond ice. And I was like, I gotta get the diamond.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
like,
At
it's
least
just
once
cool.
in your life.
Yeah, there was this old guy. There was this old guy in Japan, and the guy's name's Tony, who's the bar manager there. He's a great guy. And there's this older guy in Japan who was like, I'm the only person on earth that can carve diamond ice. So he put out this YouTube video. So then Tony put out a YouTube video of his barbacks doing it. Like these, like these 19-year-old kids in
love it.
downtown.
Oh, burn.
And it got like 3 million hits.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But they have their own room. Like this is the difference in levels that we were speaking about. They have their own room where all they do is come up with cocktails.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go in, clock in, and those guys are corporate Sheridan guys.
Right.
They also crush in tips.
Yeah.
They can make up to $800 a day just hourly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they go in there and they clock in.
About time to clock out of Virginia Beach and move to LA.
I'll be honest, this is a perfect lead or a follow up from yesterday because we were talking about the same thing as where there's mixologists out there that do exactly what you're talking about,
Right.
And that's their whole thing is like they're these mad scientists in a room,
Yeah.
making things up.
That's the logic.
The ones at District are all named after like vices. So one of them's like nicotine, one of them's like heroin, penicillin, and so they're all named like that. And they're
Blonde,
they all,
brunette, redhead.
right? They all
Blue ice.
they all come in vials.
Yeah.
So the cocktails come in vials. They hand
wow.
you a glass with a garnish and like one ice cube, and then you pour it yourself. And it's been in the jar for 2 months, 3 months, depending on how long it needs to cure.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's,
So-
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's the like different level of, you know.
Promise you won't get a bar back to shave any fucking ice here in Virginia.
Oh no, not like that.
Not into
But we can
diamonds.
mold that crushed ice into whatever.
Right. Well, the guy Tony,
Heart.
the guy
heart.
Tony created a box. The bar manager of District created this box. It's called a ghost box or something like that, and it makes clear cubed ice. Like it has no imperfections.
Perfect.
Anyone
Yeah.
want to send that to Virginia? We are willing to accept it. That's cool.
Ghost box.
That is neat.
Pat, we were talking not too long ago, and you're from you bartended in Phoenix
Phoenix and Los Angeles, yeah.
and LA.
Same place, like Trey worked at Saddle Ranch in Los Angeles
you were
on
there.
Sunset. I was in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Same deal. But I mean, that's more like a, shot and beer type of bar.
Yeah.
You're not making like crazy Manhattans or anything like that.
Right.
Right? And in my experience, I never did. It's all like upselling, like, oh, you want a rum and coke? How about we make it a triple?
Yeah.
And they're like,
Right.
all right. And then you're like, cool, that's $19. And they're like, here you go.
Well, it's all tourists. Sunset is
Yeah.
all tourists.
Yeah.
So
Scottsdale too.
Really?
So I mean, those guys are coming over from Australia, where cigarettes are $36 a pack,
Right.
And they're $12 on Sunset, and I'm like, $12,
Right.
And they're like $12.
Right.
I'm getting 3.
Yeah,
You want to take some home with me, mate?
right. Yeah, they're mailing them back in big boxes.
That's great.
Yeah,
It's like going to customs. They're like,
Saddle Ranch seems to be like the Virginia Beach spot to go to in LA. Brett Moss was over there.
Brett
Yeah.
Moss
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
there for a long time.
Yeah,
he was a
yeah.
manager. So the guy that originally, this is a cool story. So there's a guy named Billy Rogers, right? And he is the premier, like he's the best operator you'll ever meet in your life. So this guy, he was a longtime Peabody's guy. He worked at Peabody's. He did Chicho's, and he owned the original Chicho's Strawbridge. We all are old enough in this room to
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe not him, but
Maybe not.
everybody, we remember that. So
Remember Chicho's
He-
ODU.
Oh, wow.
Right.
That's where I was at.
he might have been a partner there.
Okay.
But he was very young. He was a 21-year-old
Yeah.
bar owner.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
So when
That's the
I
dream.
say when I say this guy is good, he just has that personality.
Right.
He's like that magnetic dude. You want to be around him.
Yeah.
So he sold everything, kind of like I did. Drove across the country. He applies to be a bartender at Saddle Ranch on Sunset, and the place was kind of new. I guess the owner walks up to him after like 2 weeks and is like, "You're not a bartender," and he's like this 22-year-old kid or something. He's like,
Yeah.
"Man, I'm getting fired or something."
Right.
From my first job.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're the general manager."
Shut up, man.
Swear to God, this happens. So then he starts paying
I got a
him,
funny story about that.
and this is like 16 years ago. Maybe longer.
Yeah.
18 years ago.
I mean, that Saddle Ranch Sunset opened like 99, I think.
Yeah,
And
so-
Billy was there in like 2002.
Yeah,
Maybe
so-
2001.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
those
so-
are the heydays.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
yeah.
So he starts
Date
making.
myself.
He's 22 years old. He starts making like something stupid, like $140K a year. the guy gives him.
way.
The guy gives him a Hummer,
Army issued Hummer.
Army issue Hummer,
Los
a
Angeles.
brand new Range
No,
Rover, and he
this
lives
isn't
across
real.
the street from the Wonderland house.
Oh, wow.
And he's like this 23-year-old kid.
Fuck up.
That
so-
left here and moved out
Left
there.
here,
Ah.
gets this job,
Lined up.
applies as a bartender, and is running.
His cards
the
are hot.
place. Dude. He's running good.
Still hot, too.
His cards are hot. Yeah.
So
yeah.
he never slowed down.
Right.
He worked 90 hours a week at Saddle Ranch. They opened 4 more of them.
Yeah.
Glendale, Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, and then
There's like 5
they
of them
opened one
now.
in Kansas City, and it like shit the bed. In like
Right.
a second.
And he becomes the regional director, and like he's just making positions up for himself, I think.
Yeah.
And then he
What
went.
title can I have this week?
Right. So, and the owner, of course, loves him because he's just that guy. But he's not like likable. He's likable and super efficient. And really creative and like starts. All the things that he implemented there are still in place today. Like I have to memorize these rules
Right.
that like one of my good pals has written.
Yeah.
16 years ago,
That's
and I'm
right.
like, I'm
What is
damn
that?
near
The
40,
10
like
Commandments?
memorizing all these
That's
things.
unreal, yeah.
Really?
Is it really like the 10 Commandments? or
10
something?
Commandments are still there. So there was like
Swear to
10
God.
commandments of service.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so then he
I
goes
don't
and
remember any
leaves
of
and takes this job at Lucky Strike, and was the regional director for Lucky Strikes in the Pacific Northwest.
Lucky Strike's
And
a bowling alley.
The bowling
slash,
alley.
Yeah.
Like, club.
Yeah, yeah.
The bowling alley bar.
yeah, I've
They're
seen those, yeah.
super popular.
Do they have one of those in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have one at LA Live, like
Oh,
Staples Center.
fuck. Okay.
Yeah, which
Oh.
is
There was one
a
on
couple
that.
miles
Whatever.
away. And then he got over it, wanted to do the family thing, and it was like consuming his life. So he went up and ran this place called Yamashiro and took over there. And Yamashiro is like the premier restaurant in Hollywood. Like the rent's $144K a month.
Oh, wow.
Fuck, what?
Yeah. that's
It's
nuts.
at the very top of the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you're at
Jesus.
I've seen this on. Yeah, I've seen this on like a travel program.
Yeah, it's a
Like that.
geisha. It's a
I know
converted
exactly what
geisha
you're talking
house.
about. Yeah, I know exactly.
And
what you're
it
talking
is, when I say it's the sickest restaurant, like they do the A5 Wagyu, you cook yourself. You know what I mean? And Billy was running the place and crushing it. And then he just took this other